All right, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rahakwadash. Want to give double honors to our apostles and elder bishops at Great Millstone and the elder high priests, their teachers as well. All right, and peace and blessings, shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect across the four winds of the earth. I'm the brother Yagadal. I'm a warren from GMS Houston. All right, here with another lesson. All right, which was pretty much you could say a response to a statement, all right, the elder Apostle Gabor made in this video from the Tuesday Live, okay, which I'll play a couple minutes, man, where, all right, the Apostle and the elders were going into some history, man, all right, dealing with One West, and then just history within, all right, them continuously teaching, all right, before YouTube, man, okay, which is a key reason why, all right, so just speak for the Houston camp, all right, we encourage the younger brothers and always let them know, make sure no matter what, that you getting, all right, every week that you watching the apostles and the elders, man, okay, all right, we giving double honors to these men, okay, but you have to realize that these are the men who taught and raised up the elders that you see today. Okay, the men that you call elder, okay, were built up based off of the works of these men. Okay, so they have firsthand account of history, accounts, and different things, man, to bring clarity of what we're a part of, man. Okay, it's very important too that you know the history of what you're a part of, man. How this whole thing came about. All right, who played what roles of the men that you see on YouTube today. All right, learning about men who not even here. Okay, who are examples of ones that were crept in or just didn't endure. All right, either way, they weren't of the elect. Okay, so it's important to make sure that you locked into the apostles and the elders. When we say the elders, we're talking about the elders in Connecticut. Okay, in New York as well. Okay, so I'm gonna play a couple minutes of this video and get to the statement that the elder Apostle Gabor made, all right, and bring out some precepts, Salakia, all right, Lord willing to be edifying, man. That's good. It's that damn Esau playing around with the air again, man, out of nowhere, just keep coughing and mucus. That's why we're fighting every day, man. Stay in order within every aspect that we can, man. Okay, starting with our health, man. You're a better servant when you're in better health, man. And this devil is doing everything he can to tear us down continually. All right, but let's get into it.
And we clearly heard King Marshall said that this was at the Cornelius Council.
Right.
That was 126th Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I remember it like yesterday.
King Marshall said, y'all, and it wasn't us talking shit about High Priest Ariah. It was the old Boston crew.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. Yeah, Sahaj.
You want to jump in?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Sahaj and them niggas.
Dr. Dakbar?
and they were talking shit. They basically said fuck Ariah.
That was Sahaj who said that.
Sahaj just said that.
You know?
And Mo was like talking about Ariah. You better read that 3rd chapter. And that went over all them niggas' heads. Mm-hmm. And none of them niggas is here around here. They ain't around here no more.
No.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
And that same council too, that Cornelius council, we was kicked out of the house of David because of those niggas. Right. And the 4 main niggas that was a part of that was Nate.
But truth be told, my brother, we wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Elder Pastor was fed up with the bullshit.
No, I remember.
Every fucking week there was a council.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Elder Pastor was like, look, man, when we go out and speak.
Right.
Yeah. Every week.
But he saw it.
A little bit closer.
Nate and them saw it. Everybody saw it. Then it just.
That was the next week.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, is it because your grandfather's white that you brought out? Notice I said he was an Israelite. I didn't say he was an Edomite.
Right.
Right? It shows you that they were bugged out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. But they fulfilled that.
And just real quick, they're going into history on the Cornelius Council. Okay, all right, where at the end of it, they were kicked out of the main school. All right.
That prophecy in Isaiah 66, it says that they shall that they should cast you out of the congregation.
But we were happy to leave.
Yeah.
We were happy to leave.
Yeah.
'Cause once we split from them, there's a scripture where the Apostle Paul said, "Deliver us from unreasonable men."
Right. Right.
All right. Matter of fact, somebody get that.
Unreasonable.
Somebody get.
Okay.
Hey, we got to try to work our way back to that list.
Yeah.
I got that list on.
I'll be working my way.
There you go. You got it. You got it, brother.
Go to it again.
Unreasonable men. If you
Deliver
type
us
in
from
unreasonable,
unreasonable.
yeah, because that's what happened.
Right.
When they let us go, that day when they said we're not even, remember they said we're not even going to pray
Yep.
with them.
I remember.
They treated us like we were worse than Esau.
Like we were heathens, bro.
Yeah.
But now, where are
That
they?
was Rahab the harlot that said that. He sounded like a woman when he said it too.
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
that he sounded like a nigga woman in a Tyler Perry movie.
Brother, I got news for you. He was a woman in drag.
Yeah.
He was a woman in drag.
But didn't he have extensions in his
He had
hair?
motherfucking weaves in his hair.
Bamboo earrings, at least 2 pairs.
Yeah, he
You
did.
see what over the years what we've dealt with? All right. So when we talk, man, y'all really should listen, man. That's right. All right, y'all ain't been through half the shit.
Oh, word. No.
You YouTube Israelites from 2007.
Yeah.
All right, because basically that's what you are. You YouTube Israelites. Not saying that the negative.
No.
We're not YouTube Israelites.
Right.
We were doing this thing
Oh,
long
yeah.
before YouTube.
Bro, we should
Some of y'all
prophesy
forget
to
that.
kids.
Some of y'all forget that. We were doing this thing long before YouTube.
Yep.
Long
Okay.
before 9/11. Yeah, a lot of y'all get 9/11.
Yeah, that was the main part I wanted to get to, man. All right, because in the midst of them speaking of their history, the Spirit jumped on Apostle Gabar to make the statement, man, that y'all need to listen. Why? Because, hey, we haven't, myself included, all right? We haven't been through half of the shit that the apostles and elders have dealt with, man. And then he followed up, all right, and spoke on the YouTube Israelites. In other words, the men who woke up, all right, during through YouTube, man. All right, standing on the point of they was doing the work before YouTube even came about, man. All right, when all these other guys, all right, took breaks, all right, the apostles and elders, all right, were continuously teaching, man. Okay, so this first scripture I want to grab, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 1. It says, "Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil." And that's what a lot, all right, of you YouTube Israelites, all right, I'm talking about the ones who scoffing, the ones who got questions and want to feel like you entitled to some answer and explanation, all right, for anything, man, all right, from these men. Okay, who have labored and continuing to labor, man. We're entering into their labors is what Jake don't realize, man. Okay. All right. And Most High, all right, he stated that he was going to give you pastors according to his heart, man. Okay. All right. And the scriptures tell you in the midst of 2 or 3, all right, there am I, man. All right. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is dwelling are within the church, which is the men of the Lord, man. Okay, that he's gifted, all right, through mercy and grace, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, all right, to be the heralds unto Yahushua before his second coming, to fish for the elect and condemn 2/3 of our people, all right, that's going to perish here on the shores of America, man. Okay, and to condemn the other nations, man. Okay. And in the midst of that, what are we doing? We're constantly correcting, reproving. All right. All right. And that started from the works of the men, some of the men you see on the screen here. Okay. And the rest of the apostles and elders, man. Okay. When they got on YouTube, they flooded YouTube with edification. All right. You used to be sitting there refreshing your computer screen, all right, waiting for that 37th part to upload, man. Okay? That's how, like I said, the elders that you see, all right, that you give respect unto, all right, those would have been built up by the apostles and elders when they flooded YouTube with videos, man. Okay? And have not stopped to this very day. All right? But I'll read this again. All right, we just wanted to establish that because it says, when thou goest to the house of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. All right, so it's Ecclesiastes 5:1 again. Okay, good. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. And that's what Jake is doing, man. Jake doesn't want to listen, man. Acting as if they didn't have to listen to a man tell them that they was an Israelite. Break down the scriptures, go into precepts and breakdowns, all right, of the word, man. Okay? And then you have a lot of these YouTube Israelites that come about, and all they see scoffing videos, and they don't get in to the edification that goes out, man. All right, and they just hear one point and go target these men that you don't know shit about, and you couldn't have made it, all right, a day in their shoes, okay? All right, one of a statement that was made, all right, from the apostles at one point was, hey, man, and it was fucking accurate, man. All right, we all came up in different eras, but he said, man, a lot of you guys wouldn't have made it in One West. All right, talking to us amongst Great Millstone, man. Okay, the amount of work that they had to put in without a smartphone, without a computer, without internet, okay? Going to libraries, man, going and reading and getting books, looking up books, all right? Going to school day in and day out, man. All right, putting in work the whole day, man. All right, working oil tables. All right, and then going to the marathon classes, man, after teaching. Okay? That's why these men are worthy of double honors, man. And this ain't no fucking ass kissing, man. All right? This is the truth of the matter, all right, that we are listening and being blessed to be under the true men of the Lord that the Most High set up, all right, to guide us unto salvation, man. All right, not by just word, but by deed and action as well, man. Okay, so when you come to the house of the Most High, all right, you need to listen. And that's what Apostle Gabar said, man. It's best that you just listen. Okay, instead of giving the sacrifice of a fool by speaking presumptuously, all right, and not knowing what you're talking about, man. All right, not being on a level. All right, matter of fact, let me get a precept. It's dealing with that, man. All right, because Jake don't realize, man, just by opening your mouth, like the scripture said, you don't consider that you did evil. Okay, because in your mind, all right, coming up in that black woman spirit, all right, you just see something and start running your mouth without no understanding, man. The Most High is not dealing with someone like that, man. Okay, that's why we have examples, all right, from our apostles and elders, all right, of how to conduct ourselves, man. Okay, how to grow in this thing, man. How to, we was warned about, hey, watch out for the guy who's always talking. And specifically, man, talking about himself versus listening, man. All right, we used to have a nationwide conference call, man. Okay. All right, to where every camp pretty much in Great Millstone at the time, and at that time, the name Great Millstone didn't exist if I'm correct. Okay, and we had a nationwide conference call, and all it turned into was Jake trying to show you how many precepts, all right, they knew. And then eventually it got shut down because of that, man, because it wasn't spiritual. All right, you had guys just jocking to show how much they know. Okay, that was the era, but right before it really got heavy into focus on the edification, man. We went through the condemning and the cursing, all right, and the rebuking, which edification was still going out, but it was a raw time, all right. That initial time in YouTube, when we started going out on the highways and byways, it weeded out a lot of men, all right, off the rip just by the roughness, man. All right, the spirit of a fucking man. And more important, a man of the Lord, man, who's fed up, who understands, who has wisdom. All right? Yeah, so yeah, you're pissed off when you first find this out, man. All right. But then we got into a point to where it's, they didn't got condemned. Let's focus on the edification. Let's focus on building up the elect. Okay. But real quick, this is Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 27. It says, he that hath knowledge spareth his words. So a knowledgeable man don't always have to open his mouth and say something, man. All right. Why? Because how did he get knowledge? From listening. So he knows when I listen, I learn more. Versus me trying to say what I know, I could miss out on something that I don't. All right. But it says, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his mouth, so like when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, man. So even a fool, if he keep quiet, you don't know his folly. Okay? And that fool can be converted, man. Because he was keeping his peace, not opening his mouth. So eventually what could happen? The spirit could jump on him, all right, and he'd be one of the members, man. Okay? We was all fools at one point in a Gentile state of mind, man. All right? And, the spirit got on us to hold our peace and shut up and listen, man. Okay? We're finishing out verse 28. It says, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding, man. All right? And that's true on so many levels, man. Okay? All right? Because there's times you might be out speaking and you see a guy on the other side, man, and because he holding his peace and locked in, okay, he might ask a question here and there, but you say, man, he's listening, man. So you like, man, this, like it says, is esteemed as a man of understanding. Like, man, got a good spirit on him, man. He was getting it. He was, you could tell he was receiving it, man. Okay. All right, but this is Sirach, Ecclesiastes chapter 6, starting at verse 32. It says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught. Okay. It says, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. So it's going into a man desiring to be taught, man. Okay. If he's set up to be taught. All right. But it says, if thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise, man. Okay. So if you love to hear, you're going to receive understanding, man. Okay. Why? Because you're listening to what's being taught by your teachers, man. All right. Which we see our teachers, man. Okay. And what do we see our teachers doing? Not only teaching, all right, but continuously learning themselves, man. All right. How many times you hear these men say, shit, we learning from you young men. All right. Y'all bringing out precepts we ain't heard in 20 years. All right. This is, and that's the beauty of it. This is balance, man. Okay. All right. Rank and order is not to shit on a man under him. Okay. It's for order. All right. But we're all servants trying to make it on the chariot, man. Okay. But we understand, all right, the measure of faith, all right, and understanding is given to certain men. Okay. And it's shown. Okay. But back to the scripture. It says, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And I mentioned that earlier, man. Okay. To where, hey, you could, by you trying to let everybody know what you know in the room, all right, you can miss out on something you didn't know, man. All right. In other words, the scripture said it better. All right, let not the parables of understanding, all right, escape thee. Okay. By doing what? By running your mouth, by scoffing, by talking shit. Okay. By being boastful, prideful. Always got something to say. Always got a stronger point. That fucking know-it-all spirit, man. All right. Doing that to let the parables of understanding escape thee. Okay. It says, if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. And that's what we, the true men of the Lord that seeking salvation have done, man. Okay? We saw men of understanding and we got betimes them, man. Okay? We said, hey, okay, these men, they're breaking down the scriptures the right way. And they're telling us to go confirm it ourselves. Okay? So what? So we can be teachers as well, man. Okay? So we can continue on, all right, pushing this word, all right, for the sake of salvation. Okay? All right, by doing what? By listening and following the example of well-traveled men, man. Okay? All right, this is still in the book of Sirach, chapter 34, starting in verse 9. It says, a man that hath traveled knoweth many things, and he that hath much experience will declare wisdom, man. Okay? If you've been in this thing from the YouTube era, okay, 17 to 18 years, that don't compare to a man who's been doing this for 30 years plus. A man who's been doing it for 20 years, 25 years. Okay, why? Because they've traveled more than you. They've seen more than you. They've experienced more than you. They faced more temptations than you. They fought and survived through more temptations than you. So they know ways around different perils that you don't. All right. Now we are approaching some times where we about to be, we're going to be tested, man. So you want to make sure you're doing everything possible to make sure you're getting the wisdom you need, all right, for the times to come. All right. Your beloved Trump has already been rounding up the northern tribes. All right. Now he's getting ready to come for Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. All right. It's already videos of them messing with the Haitians, so-called Haitians. Okay. So you want to listen to the men who've been in these situations, who's actually been rounded up, okay, and accused of TX, man. All right. After 911. All right. So let's get back to it. It says verse 10, he that had no experience knoweth little. All right. So you can know all the precepts you want. You can memorize all the breakdowns, but until you've been in situations to where you have to apply it and you see, all right, the fruition of applying the knowledge, therefore it becomes wisdom. All right, now you have the experience to explain things better. All right, I remember years ago, Elder Yashawamba made the statement. He said, you don't know the black woman, all right, until you get her pregnant or have a child with her. All right. In other words, yeah, we can all sit here and talk about how wicked the black woman is. Okay. But when you have a child with him in Babylon, now you understand the wickedness of a black woman. And guess what? All right, the apostles and elders warned us. They warned all our hard-headed asses to leave that hyena alone. All right, and we didn't. Hey, we had to learn the hard way, man. Okay, but not only that's another thing that to know. Is to be able to give testimony to not listening to the apostles. All right, when they give spiritual advice, when they try to steer you in the right direction so you don't make the mistakes that they made. Okay, but now, that we're over men, we can give them that testament, man, and let them know, this is why shit we didn't listen, and look at the shit we dealing with, man. All right, I was all black when I came in this thing, man, and got the black woman pregnant. Now I'm all gray. All right, but just like the apostle say, you gotta have fun with this thing, man. All right, but back at the top of verse 10, it says, he that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that hath traveled is full of prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. Okay, so we need to be locked in to constantly, all right, growing within the experience in it, all right, and not just holding on to this knowledge. No, you're applying it, man. That's how you offend less. The more you apply this word to your everyday life, your walk in the truth, okay, That's when that comes to fruition. All right. You see, okay, you know what? Every time I do what the scriptures say, it turns out better for me. When I don't, hey, I get my ass judged. All different things happen, man. Okay. But you got to be honest within yourself to know, you know what? Nah, I didn't. I'm just catching hell. Oh, I'm suffering wrongfully. When no, it's first of all, we all are sinning. Okay, so we're all doing things worthy of judgment. Okay, but we're are constantly offending less by doing what? By applying the words and the wisdom that we've learned from our teachers, man. Okay, who's given us firsthand accounts of the things that we have to deal with, man. All right, but reading on, it says, verse 12, I was oft times in danger of death, yet I was delivered because of these things. Okay, so what is he stating? He was saying I was in danger of death, but because of the experience and being a well-traveled man, okay, I was delivered. So are we not in danger of death right now? See, that's the difference in between the sincere men and the bullshitting ass jakes with fringes on, man. We see that this is a life or death situation. It's no middle. It's no 1,000 years, 20 years, 30 years, man. All right. This prophecy is speeding up, and we see, hey, we this close. All right, to our lives being on the line, man. Okay. So we want to lock into the men who are giving us, all right, the tools, all right, which is faith. The edification is building up our faith. Okay, so when these times come, we're going to have faith that the Lord is going to deliver us because we've walked correctly. Okay. Yeah, that's it right there. I had mentioned it earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and grab, all right, double honors, man, which all the great millstone, we open up our lessons, all right, we give double honors, okay, to these men, all right, and not just them, all right, as Apostle Ricard told us out here while we was on the block in Houston, okay, all right, and he said, hey, man, shit, give double honors to the elder high priest as well, man, okay. The Most High spoke about not forgetting your labor of love, man. All right. The bulk of the doctrine which we teach came from one West, all right, from the elder high priest, man. Okay. Whether you like it or not, that's where the truth came from. The bulk of the breakdowns and understanding, the 12 tribes chart. Okay, all that came from the elder high priest of one West. Okay, now the truth has been completely refined, all right, through the elders and apostles, man, the apostles and elders, all right. So this is 1 Timothy chapter 5, and let me get straight to it. It's 1 Timothy 5:17. It says, "Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor." All right. And I can speak, all right, for myself. All right. For the time I've been in this thing, man. All right. The apostles and elders have ruled beyond well. All right. Established beautiful order, constantly feeding. All right. By what? By teaching, man. All right. But have set us up to grow in this thing through the Spirit, man. All right. Showing that these are the men that the Most High set up. Okay. But it says, especially though they who labor in the word and doctrine. So you can't say these men ain't laboring. Everybody, man, no matter what, vocab done had to admit it. All right, SideNetta. All right, GPT. All right, all state the works of great millstone. All right, have labeled them, led them to be labeled as scholarly men. Why? Because they're laboring in the word and doctrine continually, man. All right. Per the example of our apostles and elders, man. Okay. So, hey, when these men are speaking, you need to listen up. All right. These, they're the first ones to bring out videos of King Masha, High Priest Arya. All right. pull up pictures of Abba Bivens, man. Okay, and bring these things out to show you the history of where this thing, how this came out through the spirit and through prophecy, man, being fulfilled. All right, after that time, all right, of us being lost, man, that falling away. Okay. All right. So, hey, I'm going to end it right there. All right. Lord willing, edification was made. All right. To the brothers and sisters that may be listening, man. Okay. Key word, listening. Okay. So lock into the spirit if it's meant for you, man. Everybody's not going to get this. It's not for everybody, man. Okay. But when you come to the house of the Lord, shut your fucking mouth and listen up, man. Okay. Once again, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Hakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone and the elder high priest who taught them. And peace and blessings. Shalom to the Most High's hopeful elect. Keep fighting, keep pushing.